Alright guys, welcome to another Apex Legends video, and today me and Holland are going to give you some tips on how to win in Armed and Dangerous, because I know a lot of the player base saw that challenge for 5 wins and they really want to know how to get that done as quick as possible and as efficiently as possible. So before we jump into this, I just want to tell you guys, we'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like our videos, hit the notification bell, and leave some comments, talk to us. We're always here watching the comments. We can always be here to talk to you. You know, we want you guys to be part of this community. We want to actually build something here and have an active community that cares about the game and cares about each other. So with that being said, we're going to hop straight into the list and I'm going to let Holland start it off.
Alright, so one of the biggest things you can do is in this new Armed and Dangerous game mode, you start with always an Evo shield, and that's all you can have are Evo shields. So you need to land in a high populated area, that way you can get that damage early. You need to be able to get high damage to give you those stronger shields, and that will put you at such a huge advantage. I see so many players going to areas where there's no enemies, and you get into a fight halfway through the game and you're up against red Evo shields, and you just can't deal with it.
Now, we're not saying drop hot zone every single time. We're talking one squad with you is enough to get a blue to purple Evo off the bat, and that's what you're trying to get. As soon as possible, you want that Evo as high as you can, because you don't want to be going into that final fight with a blue shield while everyone else has red, because you're going to lose. So, that being said, we're going to look at when you first drop what you're trying to look for. Now, if you get unlucky and your first loot box is not anything and all you got is a Mozambique, but you see someone, you can try and pop off a couple shots because you may get your Evo shield up a level, but you're really trying to go for picking up an Eva 8 or a Mastiff right off the bat if you can, because those are going to really get your damage ramped up early on when you're close range.
Aside from the Mozambique, basically one of your biggest best friends, what I would say is by far the best shotgun in the game, is going to be an Eva 8 with the double tap. And I know, but Holland, the Peacekeeper, it's a gold and you can just get it. It's obviously the best. It's really not. The Eva 8 double tap performs a lot better. The Peacekeeper is definitely good. It's way better than the Mozambique. If you get it, don't turn it down. But Eva 8 with double tap is seriously going to be your best friend.
Alright, so that leads into our next point with the Kraber as well. Peacekeeper and Kraber are going to be care package weapons, meaning they have very limited reserve ammo. You basically get what's in your mag, and you get 3 reserve magazines, and once those are out, that gun is completely out of ammo and you will not get more for the rest of the game. So with the Kraber, you got the advantage that it does do more damage. It is actually useful. But with a Peacekeeper, you're going to be blowing through shots very quickly, because that is not a one-shot kill weapon 90% of the time. And usually you're going to pop off at least 3 to 4 per person. So honestly, a double tap Eva 8 is going to do way more damage overall, and it's going to be way more consistent. And you're going to have so much reserve ammo on that you will not have to worry about that in the end game. And you don't have to worry about having to move up on someone because you're now needing a new one.
Thing with the Kraber is you really need to be able to hit those headshots consistently. And if you're watching a tips and tricks video, you might not be having the best aim. You might not be able to hit those headshots one after another after another. So what do? Get the longbow, preferably with the skull piercer, or even better, the golden longbow, because you can get ammo on those. It's a pretty high fire rate for snipers, and it's for those people who can't land all their shots, but you can really deal with so much damage, especially if you get it golden. You are lasering them down. If you can get some headshots along the way, that's immediate shield broke as long as it's not red. It deals 110 damage for a headshot, I believe. And then if you can't even land shots with those because you don't know how to lead, you're not good at leading with snipers, you're the kind of teammate who tries to get close rather than stay away, use the charge rifle. The charge rifle is a hit scan. You can hit people from however far away without needing to worry about leading any shots. You're just tracking and clicking on heads. So there's that dynamic there of play to your strengths, know what you're doing.
Yeah, so basically, if you're not the sniper in your group and you have a friend with you that you know can hit shots, give them the Kraber and you just take a golden longbow, because honestly, you're going to be hitting so many shots with the longbow a lot easier and not having to deal with worrying about missing a shot and being very hesitant on shooting. Because with a Kraber, people get very hesitant. They're going to miss a lot of shots because they are scared to waste their ammo. You don't want to be like that. If you can't handle the pressure of using a gold weapon like that, you need to just go with a longbow, skull piercer. You're still going to do a lot of damage, and it's just going to be one of the best weapons you could possibly get in this game mode.
Now, what sniper should you not use? That's pretty simple. The Sentinel in this game mode is not the best, because the Sentinel Disruptor rounds, which did receive a buff, is really limited, because it feels, at least, you get a lot less healing items in Armed and Dangerous, which is not good for the Sentinel, because you have to use 2 shield cells every time you want to get those Disruptor rounds up, and they last 2 minutes. So try to avoid the Sentinel as best you guys can. I know some people are like, oh, the Sentinel headshot deals a ton of damage. Yes, but it's all action. This is a pretty high octane game mode, all things considered. You're going to be going up against a lot of people who can hit a lot of sniper shots. So it's really just not the best plan.
Now, I will warn you guys, the Golden Sentinel does drop in this game mode. And I know how tempting it might be when you see that gold weapon, but in the time it takes for you to shoot 1 bullet with that Sentinel, you're going to get 2 tapped by a longbow and you're going to be dead. And you don't want to be in that position with your teammates yelling at you because you just got downed in that final one-on-one fight. So, now that we've covered all the weapons, we're going to get on to more of the general tips that are going to help you in every game mode, but are specifically very important in this one because of it being snipers and shotguns only. So, we're going to start with positioning, very key, one of the most important things. You need to have high ground and you need to have cover at all times, because you don't want to be running around in the water by a bunker while someone's up on one of the hills watching you, because you have no cover and they have a ton of tree line and rocks to hide behind, and you are going to lose that fight guaranteed. So always focus on that. Make sure you're up high, make sure you're hiding. If you need to run in with a shotgun, make sure you have cover, because there's no point in running in with your golden EVA 8 if someone shoots you with a Kraber because you just ran through an open field.
Another big thing here is don't peek if you're getting shot. If you're getting shot, they already have a sniper aimed up on you, so the moment you peek out, you're getting a bullet to your head, to your body. It's not going to be a fun time, because you're going to have to figure out where that bullet's coming from, and that time they are already completely locked in on you. So it's really dangerous.
Yeah, and we're not talking normal game modes where there's usually 1 sniper per team. When you've got 3 people with snipers, they could watch every door of the building you're on, and no matter if you peek out the left door, the right door, the window in the middle, they have eyes on you and they are going to hit you. It is just not a good idea. If you get shot one time, you need to rethink your idea, make sure you have cover, and make sure you play it safe, because they now have your position and they know that the second you peek out, they're going to kill you.
There are 2 champions or legends that you really want to play in this, because there's a lack of healing items. It always feels that way. It's like, oh man, I don't have healing. Do you have healing? No one has any healing. So
it's a very severe lack.
It's bad. So how do you counteract that? You use Lifeline for base healing. Lifeline is amazing. She can just drop down her dock now to revive someone, and then have her regular dock heal someone. You can heal a whole team a pretty decent chunk just by using her ability, which is on recharge. And then, well, what do you do about shields? Easy. Watson can now have 3 interceptor pylons down at once. She can carry 2 ultimate accelerants in a stack. Watson can pop her ults non-stop, and they provide pretty decent shield healing, as well as protecting against enemy grenades, which, as we're about to talk about, are a very key part of this game mode.
Now, I just want to add to the Lifeline part of that, because I think a lot of you guys have underestimated her buff recently, and you really got to think about, do you want to revive someone, or would you rather have a Lifeline that can drop a shield down with her dock that literally will block Kraber shots and guarantee the revive if they don't run in with a shotgun? You literally force them to rush you down if they want to stop you on that revive. And with Lifeline having the new buff, she can still shoot back while Doc's doing the revive. So you have nothing to lose by that revive. All you have is to force them to reposition or waste ammo. Now, we're moving on to the next part, which can really change the fight, and this is another huge reason you have to have Wattson on your team. Grenades are aplenty in this game mode. You are going to find 50 grenades for every shield battery you find. And that is not a lie. They are literally everywhere. I've made it out of the starting area with a half of a gold bag full of just thermite grenades. And they change the game so much for most people, because if you don't have a Wattson on your team stopping them, a thermite completely blocks off a pathway. If you touch it, it gives away your position. The arc stars can destroy your shields very easily, which is a huge problem whenever everyone's using snipers that are going to one-shot you without a shield. Grenades are more useful now than they have ever been in any normal game mode, and you have got to make sure you're playing with that in mind and you're using those to your advantage. But do not use the frag grenade if you can help it. It's too easy to dodge, and it just does not do enough compared to the other ones.
Last but not least, guys, know your fights. Don't stay in a fight if you can't win it. The amount of teammates that we've had in randoms who think they can 1v3 a team whenever all the enemies have red shields, mastiffs, peacekeepers, Eva 8s, and they have their tiny Mozambique who try to fight it instead of running is outstanding. We are constantly reviving teammates, having to run back for them because we know, wow, this team is in a position where we can't touch them, they can take us out. Let's just relocate and get better let's just relocate, get better items, better guns, and we'll fight them later on. You can't stay in fights that aren't advantageous to you.
And that really brings it back to the whole point of you have to have good positioning. If you're out here in the middle of a field trying to shoot someone who's on top of a building that all they have to do is hit back one time for a quarter of a second and they're completely out of your sight lines and can heal, but you're still out in the open able to be third-partied by any other group in the game, then you're screwed. You have no cover if you're out in a field. They have a whole building. You have to know that is not a fight you want to get into. Don't even try to shoot back if you're in a field like that. You need to just move as quick as possible and get somewhere where you have cover, because you cannot do a 1v3 on people that have cover. You will never win that unless you are top tier pro player Apex Predator status. And even then, you probably won't. To be honest, it's not going to happen 90% of the time. You have to be extremely lucky. And really, the biggest tip we can give you is you have to know your teammates and pay attention to what's going on. If you guys aren't communicating, keeping up with each other, staying together, you are going to lose the game. It happens way too much with randoms. They don't tell you where they're going. They split off. They do whatever they want. And yeah, that may be good if you still need your 15 respawns for the badge. But after that, all you're doing is getting games thrown because your teammates refuse to tell you what's going on and refuse to communicate. And really, that's always been a problem in this game, but it's 10 times worse in this whenever they can peek one time and get killed, and if they don't tell you where the guys are, you're going to die right after.
With all that said, Kamikaze, take us out.
Alright, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope we helped you learn some tips on how to actually win some games and get those badges, because I know all of you are trying to get those badges done, and you need those 5 wins to get it. So I hope this has helped you guys. I hope you all enjoyed. We're going to see you in tomorrow's video with some more gameplay, some more tips, some more something. We don't really plan these out too well. It's kind of a spur of the moment thing. So we'll see you in tomorrow's video, and you guys have a good one.